Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
To begin, let me say I look forward to our brief encounter.
Me too.
The search for great value led me to you. When I mix and match, great value will be mine. And to that you say...
What would you like?
Yes!
Get 2 of your favorites from the Everyday McPick 2 for $3 menu at McDonald's. Choose a double cheeseburger, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, bacon cheeseburger, medium fries, or a snack-size McFlurry. For a limited time, prices and participation may vary. See store for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Fort Bragg's backyard, this is the show that put the 110 Nation on the map. There is only one nation, the 110 Nation, and you're listening to the 110 Nation Sports Show. Covering each and every sport across the board. There is no sport too large or too little. It's time to talk the talk. Here we go. Here's the man, the founder, and your host, Mr.C.J. Sports.
I want to welcome everybody to the 110 Nation Sports Show. I am your host, Mr.C.J. Sports. You can follow me at DJ Sports 1. You follow the 110 Nation at 110 Nation. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, my personal fan page, Mr.C.J. Sports, the 110 Nation fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Also check out our blog site, www.110nationsports.com. Also, check out our company site, www.the110nation.com, for all the latest going on here at the 110 Nation. Oh, goodness. Glad to be here tonight. Monday. Good God almighty. Of course, as soon as the show starts, the daughter wants to call, so I gotta let her know that I was on the air, couldn't talk, but tell you what, glad to be here this Monday night. Glad to have my co-host with me. I think we're going to have her throughout most of the week. How you doing tonight, Shorty?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I lost the mic. I have it on the wrong side. Give me 1 second. But I'm doing very, very slow tonight.
Very
I
slow.
can't hear you, so hold on. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm used to having it on the right side, and I put the headphones on backwards, and I had it on the left side, and it bothered me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm just making sure you're, very quiet. It's, unusual for you to not interrupt me in the middle of me talking while we're on the show.
Trying to turn over a new leaf. As Cleveland is playing game 1 against Atlanta, they are up 79-78 with about 9 minutes left in the fourth. We're going to keep you updated on that. OKC and San Antonio will be playing in the second game, kicking off here in about 30 minutes.
Can't wait to see I can't wait to hear about how they San Antonio beats the crap out of OKC again.
It wasn't even a fun game to watch. And unless you were a San Antonio fan and you just wanted to watch a beating, it was really not that entertaining. San Antonio scored 43 points first. They were up 73-40 at the half, up by 43 points at one time, and ended up winning by 32 points. And every player on that organization scored a point. Don't matter. You was on that bench. You played. You scored. That's how ridiculous Game 1 was between San Antonio and OKC.
Yes. it was kind of like watching the 2013 Super Bowl when Seattle beat the crap out of Denver. Like, Denver didn't even show up. Like, it was kind of like watching that. It was that bad. I mean, what I did see with it, I enjoyed it. I mean, I couldn't tell what the score was for San Antonio the whole time, but that's a problem in itself.
and let the listeners know why couldn't you why couldn't you see what San Antonio's score was most of the game?
My bad $$sign kids.
They decided one morning they were going to take each of them take a bottle of Febreze and drench down the TV, and some of the Febreze got into the TV. So there's like a couple bubbles, and one of them. It's funny because the first game or two of the finals, or the games at least I was watching, the score was on the left hand of the screen, so you could see it. It really did not affect anything. But all of a sudden, they switched to start putting the score on the right-hand side, and there's a big bubble. And so you can only see either one team score or at least see one team's name. They can't see nothing else. So you got to wait until commercial break to see the score, unless they happen to show it or to show the scoreboard through the camera shot, or if they just happen to say the score. But outside of that, we can't see the score at Shorty's house, and it used to be aggravating at the time, but it is what it is.
Oh, I mean, in their defense, they were not trying to ruin the TV. They were trying to clean their handprints off of it, because Mr.C.J. had complained the day before to them about how they had touched the TV and that there's fingerprints all over it. So them, and their little minds, they were like, all right, so we messed it up, so let's clean it. That's what they were doing. So, and it was only my daughter, not both.
Oh, goodness. Oh. Tell you what. There was 10 Buckeyes in the first three rounds, NFL record, and 12 Buckeyes that did end up being drafted in this year's draft. By far more than any other team. I tell you what, every NFL team was wanting them some Buckeyes this year.
Who wouldn't want some Buckeyes? I would want some Buckeyes. I want some Buckeyes on my team if I was playing football.
I definitely, we definitely have some very talented players come out this year, and definitely going to keep my eye on Ezekiel Elliott over at Dallas, especially with that offensive line. And I definitely want to see how Cordell Jones does. He got drafted in the 4th round by Buffalo. It will be interesting if he gets an opportunity there, and if he does, how much that he makes of that opportunity.
Funny, Darren. You know who I'm talking about, Darren? He's a Bills fan. Never mind, I'll text you. The original.
Oh, the original. The first?
The first one I was trying to...
Let's go get a drink, Darren?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen the Buffalo. Buffalo that? Or maybe I know it was Buffalo. Maybe it was NHL stuff that we saw on the picture.
No, it was Buffalo. It was the Bills. Because I clowned him.
Yeah, it's always fun to clown Buffalo fans. Always entertaining. Not that us Browns fans got much to brag about.
Yeah. They ain't got really much to say, but at least for now.
5 minutes left. 5 minutes left in the third. It is 86-86. Cleveland and Atlanta tied up. I tell you what, I'm glad, and I hope Cleveland isn't pulling us out, obviously. But I was glad to see Cleveland take care of business last week. And any unnecessary games is unwanted. And prime example was Chris Paul and Blake Griffin both going down, Bradley over Boston going down. They're just too much risk. We watched Cleveland lose Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving last year in the playoffs. So my hopes for Cleveland is you win every game. You make the path. You make the path to the finals as quick as possible and easy as possible for you. Don't be like Miami and taking 7 games against Charlotte. Don't be like Indiana or Toronto taking 7 games to get to beat Indiana. Get it done. 4 games. There's no reason that this should go more than 4 games with Atlanta. Atlanta is not that good of a team. We swept them last year. We should be able to do it again this year. When I'm seeing Toronto and I'm seeing Miami and even watching Golden State have to go 5 games, it tickles me because you watch teams like San Antonio that just went 4 games. They were done. They swept. To have to wait for OKC, and you can see the difference of a San Antonio team. Granted, they hit like almost every shot. They were like 85% in the first quarter. Ended up finishing like almost 70% shooting. It was one of those nights they shot phenomenally well, but there was energy. You could tell they were rested. They were ready to go. OKC was not ready. They had to put more effort into round 1, and that's kind of been the theme for me so far this playoffs is don't play any unnecessary games. Let's get through the series, get no injuries, and that's kind of what my mind frame is when I'm watching these teams.
Mhm.
Oh goodness. Thought this was interesting. I seen the tweet go out by the players that the Seahawks are confirming this or saying this that nobody will wear Marshawn Lynch's number 24 this season. The Seattle Seahawks aren't officially retiring Marshawn Lynch's number yet, but nobody will wear it for at least this season. You want to know how much the Seattle Seahawks respect what Lynch meant to the franchise through the years? Look at Doug Baldwin's plea to Coach Pete Carroll via Twitter. It says, "Dear at Pete Carroll, we are thrilled with the new teammates. One condition: nobody wears 24 for years to come." I don't know about that. I know that Marshawn Lynch meant a lot to this team. I'm not a fan of a bunch of numbers being retired. Like we talk about NASCAR. They don't retire any numbers, but there are 2 numbers that I feel should be retired. And only 2 numbers at this point, and that's the number 3 of Dale Sr. and the 43 of Richard Petty. I am not a fan of you. To me, you have to. You've got to be something special for you to have Michael Jordan. Yes, I don't mind number 23 being retired. Kobe Bryant, I'm not big on the 2-number ordeal, but I don't see a problem with Kobe Bryant having his number retired. LeBron, when he steps away from the game, what he has been to this sport, what he has been to Cleveland, what he has done for the economy, I have no problem with his number being retired. There's not a lot of players, Paul Pierce, no. Kevin Garnett, no. Ray Allen, no. Dwayne Wade, no. Dwayne Wade has been in Miami, but he has not made as much of an impact as your LeBrons, your Kobe Bryant, your Michael Jordan. And I understand that there's a lot of respect from the Seattle Seahawks, but one, to me, that already lets me know going into the season, your mindset's already in the wrong direction. You're worried about whether or not the next running back coming in is going to be wearing the number 24 versus what can you do to help get the new running back in your organization ready to be as productive as Marshawn Lynch. But on top of that, Marshawn Lynch is not. I'm sorry, but he was too controversial in his career, not wanting to speak to the media, being rude to the media. He's not like he was crushing the records. I understand they have respect, but at the same time, you're focused in the wrong direction, and it's just Marshawn Lynch. This is not Walter Payton. This is not Barry Sanders. It was just simply Marshawn Lynch. What are you over there giggling about?
You. I happened to go on Facebook just a second ago, and I might have seen your mom's throwback picture of you and your two brothers. I could tell, like, as soon as I looked at the picture, which one was you?
Yeah, my face ain't changed none at all.
Huh?
I said, because my face ain't changed at all.
I know, and it's freaking hilarious with your little bowl haircut. Did she use a bowl to cut your hair? Like, did she actually put the bowl on your head?
We're going there, are we?
Okay, you can look up on my mom's Facebook and see all the cute little pictures of me that she has. Like the two.
We're going to go there with the bowl cut. I don't know. Maybe I need to ask my mom about the haircut.
You do, so I can learn how to cut your hair like that.
Unfortunately, nowadays my hair doesn't grow long enough to have a bowl cut anymore.
Oh, you cut your hair before it grows long enough. Your hair could be long enough.
My hair thins out way too much. I'm trying to see the throwback picture that you're even talking about.
You haven't seen it? She tagged you in it. She tagged you in it.
Just because my mother tagged me doesn't mean I pay attention to it.
Well, that's not very nice. You should look at the stuff your mom tags you in. You should look at it.
She tags me in old school pictures all the time.
Well, so?
Oh, goodness. I had an opportunity this weekend to watch Talladega. That was an interesting race to watch. It's been a while since we've seen that many cars flip and go airborne and everything that happened yesterday. It was just
and Saturday.
Yes, it was Saturday's finish. That was something of. I'm not going to use. My feet just dropped. I'm not going to say. Well, when I first watched it, yes, I had an issue with it, and I reacted likewise. But after having the opportunity to kind of sit back and actually watch the replay and see when the caution was thrown and everything else, I think it was more of I wanted, since we've had the opportunity to meet Brennan Poole at the Chicken Ass Racing, I think it was more of a thing that the fan side of me came out, and I just genuinely wanted him to win the race. Elliott Sadler is a driver to me that has really no business being on the track. He is nothing more at best as an Xfinity, maybe even just a Truck Series driver. He definitely has no business being out there on Sunday. I think, and I talked about this in Rubbing His Racing, I think the last time that I actually seen him in an Xfinity, a Sprint Cup Series race was probably Daytona when Danica was a rookie in the first lap or two. He ended up wrecking like 10 people on lap one of Daytona. I think that was the last time he was even in the Sprint Cup Series race.
They kicked him out. They didn't want him to wreck anybody.
He has no. So 41 years old, and it just, I don't know. There's a handful of drivers to me that are just Xfinity Series at best drivers. Jeremy Mayfield was another one. Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Gaughan is nothing. Stephen Wallace, I don't even think he was even a Xfinity Series. He should have been maybe a Truck Series or ARCA Series driver. There's certain drivers out there that, to me, they are nothing more than second or third tier racers. They are not, or have any business at all being out there on a Sunday afternoon. And I think that's what part of it had to do with why I reacted the way they did, because honestly, you go back and you watch what happens, and you watch how bad Joey Logano gets hit, and the bouncing around he's doing and everything else. They made the right decision on throwing the caution. Yes, it sucks to watch a driver head back to the start-finish line to actually win the race and find out that and find out that you don't actually win the race, even though you were the first one to cross the finish line. But as hard as Joey Logano was getting hit and the severity it could have been of that wreck, I understand why NASCAR threw the caution when they did. To me, it's more of, and it's something we talk about a lot when we talk about NASCAR, it's more of the consistency. I think that's where NASCAR screwed up, is the consistency. If something like that happens, you throw out the caution as soon as it happens every time, or you don't. And that's where things get caught up with NASCAR, is sometimes they wait it out, sometimes they throw the caution as soon as it happens, sometimes, it's just very inconsistent. And I think that, yeah. And like I said, rubbing this race, I think a lot of it started with that photo finish of Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin in the wreck, and the when should the caution be thrown, and should they race back and everything else. I think that's something that started then, and the inconsistency has just been the downfall for NASCAR. Like I said, I don't have a problem, with the way it finished. It was probably for the best on Saturday because of the severity of how hard Joey Logano was being hit. But I think it was more the fact that I was wanting. I was wanting a little bit of win the. Yeah, I do got to do a shout out though. I got a shout out to Gus Dean, who's been on the show. Mason Mitchell was actually on the show last week. The Mason Mitchell number 98 machine found itself in victory lane at Talladega for the ARCA Series race on Friday. So I want to shout out to them, congratulate not only Mason Mitchell but Gus Dean as well.
Wasn't that another big wreck too?
Do what now?
Wasn't there a big wreck on that one too?
There was one towards the end. They ended up shorting the race. They didn't do they should have been able to do another green-white checkered, but because of the darkness, they ended up calling the race at that point in time. But it was a great race to watch. You should have seen Shorty and I. We were pulling for some Gus Dean. But it wouldn't have hurt our feelings none if Josh Williams would have ended up winning the race. He was doing well. We've had Josh on the show as well way back last year. But we were really pulling for the 98 machine and Mason Mitchell Motorsports, especially being how Mason has been on the show probably about a good 6 times. He was on last week. Gus Dean has given us the time. So we were sitting and watching the race on Friday, and we were definitely pulling for the 98 machine to find its way into victory lane. So it was really good that we got to see that. And it was really a good win for Mason Mitchell Motorsports.
Congratulations. You earned it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Dun, dun, dun. Don't get mad at me when you get here, by the way.
Don't get mad. Do I want to know why?
Well, I mean, it's nothing you're going to get really upset about. I mean, what can I really do to make you that upset? You know? I just did a little change up again. But on the bright side this time, when I changed it up, I made them match the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking. Even though you're talking in code, your code is way off for me.
I'm not talking in code.
I didn't know what you was talking. You're talking about they changed up and now they match. I thought it was something you couldn't say in the air. So I was definitely lost. But Cleveland is up 97 to 88, up by 9 points with 1:40 left. Looks like the Cavaliers. I'm not going to count my chickens till the eggs are hatched, but yeah, something like that. But I'm
not going to count your eggs till the chickens come out. I don't know.
Cleveland's going to be able to hold on to that and be able to hold on to victory. Dodgers pitcher suspended 80 games of PEDs. Los Angeles relief pitcher Josh Raven was suspended 80 games on Monday due to advanced substance, source told Yahoo Sports, and is the sixth major leaguer to face discipline for performance-enhancing drugs this season.
This week? Oh.
This season. But this season, 6 players already. This season.
I thought you said this week. I was like, dang.
They are only not even 25 games, or right at 25 games into the season. You're looking at one player every 4 games getting suspended for PEDs in Major League Baseball. That is kind of ridiculous. That's a lot of. You got an issue, Major League Baseball. You really got an issue.
That is ridiculous.
People try to in the front office try to play it down like it's not an issue. There's an issue. If you got a player every 4 games getting suspended on average right now because of PED, that's an issue. What? And I'm gonna give my thoughts. What are your thoughts on it? Like, I don't have a – well, one, I think the word PED is misleading because it is performance-enhancing drugs. So anything that enhances your performance. To me, protein, which helps give you muscle mass, helps your performance. It enhances your performance. So I don't like the terminology PED because simple as taking protein drinks to me is a PED because it enhances your performance. But I don't have an issue with it. Having the experience that I have around a lot of those supplements and the supplements I've taken throughout my career and being around people that have taken test and taken Tren, which is a form of basically a form of steroids. I don't have an issue with it because if you're willing to put that in your body, to me, you can have just as much of a negative reaction from taking an Advil as you do take something that performance-y, helps your performance. I just don't have an issue with it. I feel that if you're willing to put your body through it, and I'm a firm believer, as long as you cycle like you're supposed to and take care and take post-cycle stuff and everything you're supposed to do, there's not an issue. I know a lot of people that have never had any, in all the scientific research that I've seen, there is not anything negative other than you can get what they call, I forget what the actual terminology is, but, SEC, and I apologize for what I say, but the only negative thing that I've seen is the possibility of getting bitched in. And
Doing what?
For guys to have a chest. And that is not even a permanent thing, and any side effect that you see, maybe acne or whatever, those are all temporary side effects, and they're very minimal as long as you take. I mean, you personally, I know you've been around a couple people that have taken, steroids and tests, and you've never had a bad experience around people that take it, have you?
No, I have not. I've never had a bad experience. If anything, I've had great experiences. I mean, I know a few people, and they're great. They're good people. Good people. Never crazy.
It just kills me because people talk so negatively, and it's really no. We were talking earlier in the show about my hair, and I don't have to smoke that anymore. And my hair thinness came from me taking supplements that I could went to GNC and get, and I think I got one of them from GNC. I was taking 2 bottles of supplements. One I think I got from GNC, and the other one I know I got from Gold's Gym. And it was that point in my life where, and I think it's because I took both of them at the same time, and I wasn't supposed to, and I really didn't know this. That's when my hair started thinning out. So I noticed that and I thought it was just because I was wearing a hat all the time, and at that point in time I was letting my hair grow out to the point I actually had to brush it back and put my hat on. I just thought it was just because I was wearing a hat all the time, and I just let my hair get so long. But I honestly think it's after looking back at it, I think it was because I was on that, both those stuff. And I carried my ID for the longest time, where in 6 months it looked like I had almost doubled in size when it came to even my head. And I was getting accused left and right. And I think that was the first time I got up to 400 on the bench. And I've maxed out 2 years ago at 460. But I think that's,
sexy time.
When I was taking that stuff, I think that's what really took a toll on my body. And like I said, I think that was more to do because I was taking basically two supplements that I should have only been taking one, so I was really just pushing hard on my body. But, all the people that I've been around, they've been so happy people. I've never had an issue. There are so many positive things about it, and I'm not trying to promote taking steroids and taking HGH and all that stuff. I just think that obviously it's in the sport. Obviously it's not going anywhere. Just let them do it. Like I don't understand it. If you're able to go get creatine, if you're able to go get protein, if you're able to get all these other things and take, why even if it was negative, and I want to go ahead and update you guys, Cleveland did win 104-93 to go ahead and take Game 1 of the best of 7 series, Game 2 back in Cleveland. As they shot almost 50% from downtown, hitting 15 of 31, 15 for 21 from the free throw line. Just a great night, all in all, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I honestly believe that, one, there's really no advantage over another person if you're taking it. It does not help your eye basketball coordination. It does. The only thing it really does is help you get stronger, and it helps you recover. And I look at it as if, they're wanting to put their body through it. They're willing to possibly sacrifice their body in order to play a sport, to get paid, and be successful at it. I have no problem with it. If they've been willing to sacrifice their body since back in the day when they played t-ball and worked all the way through, I have no problem that, okay, I'm going to take something to help me recover quicker. It's something that's going to help me make me stronger. Something that, I have no issue with it.
Neither do I. I don't see an issue with it. I mean, I don't know.
LeBron James did score 25 points tonight. Kyrie Irving had in 21. Kevin Love finished with 17. J.R. Smith 4 for 7 from downtown with 12 points. As, like I said, the Cleveland Cavaliers ended up doing their thing tonight. And Atlanta, not too bad of a night. Schroeder ended up having 27 points. Millsap had 17. Bazemore had 16. Hartford had 10. They got to have more people involved. Kyle Korver can't just have 3 points. Only 0 for 1 from downtown. Really did not shoot the ball much. Jeff T got shut down, 8 points. 2 for 9. Just wasn't making shots. Only played 21 minutes. They got to, if Atlanta wants to have a shot, they got to find a way to get everybody involved. Like Cleveland did. You got a lot of people that touched the ball, a lot of people that scored, a lot of people with minutes, and you didn't have anybody just really overwhelm it and have a bunch of points. It was your productivity. They played team ball again tonight, and there's a few people coming into my store lately that are highly confident the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win it all. I have not gotten to that point yet that I am confident in the Cleveland Cavaliers beating San Antonio or beating Golden State. I'm just not. I'm not that confident yet. Which are you getting to be confident on the Cleveland Cavaliers at this point? And what are your thoughts? I think I might have lost it. Oh no, she's nothing. You said deuces. She didn't want to talk no more. Wow. My feelings are kind of hurt. Got to admit, just playing, not really. Not really. Can't believe she just choked up the deuces, though. Didn't even say why. My feelings. Anyway, I got to make sure that I thank a few people before we get into the next topic of conversation here, as we're going to be entertained by a lopsided San Antonio beatdown once again. I got to make sure that I thank Snafu Seasoning, the official sponsor of Racing with Big Sweat, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Check them out over at snafuseasoning.com. All-natural product, no preservatives. It's a great meat rub that I've heard you can pretty much put on everything. So make sure you guys check that out. Also, got to thank YellowCautionFlag.com, the official sponsor of the Dirt Talk Hour on Sunday night. Without them, the Sunday night show would not be possible. So got to make sure you guys check them out. Thank them. And also, got to thank Fit for Life. You guys check them out on Facebook, Fit for Life. Check them out. Check out their site at Fit for Life as well. Bunch of locations. I think we got 10 locally. 24/7, 365 availability. There's not a single day that you cannot go to the gym. There is always an accessible way to be in the gym. There might not always be somebody working, but you get this nice little key thing that you get a swipe and go in whenever you want to go in. Which makes it great for those that have different shifts. So got to thank them for being on board here with the 110 Nation, and very excited about the relationship we're building with them over there at Fit for Life. As Shorty decided that she missed me, she came back. How you doing?
It hung up and then my phone froze. I was trying to hurry up. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing. Just left me. I was like, wow. She didn't even say bye. She didn't chuck up no deuces. She didn't know. She just said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. On purpose. Yeah, I really was on purpose. I need a game to play. It's called Mess with Mr.C.J. It's a pretty fun game. I would say you should try it, but what fun would it be to mess with yourself?
Last January, a prominent NFL agent visited a handful of clients at a Sun-based workout facility in hopes of making a plea. One of the soon-to-be NFL draft picks had posted and then deleted a less than remark on one of his social media accounts. The agent hoped to use the moment to his advantage, so he gathered the group together for a talk. The post was really late and didn't catch on, and I wanted them to know this is an example of why it's better to stay off Twitter and Facebook and that stuff, the agent said. I went through it and asked them if they would either shut down their accounts or stop updating them until after the draft. Did any of the players listen? Not one, the agent said. It's their decision. I can only ask so much, but after this draft, if they had seen what happened in this draft, it would have hit home. It definitely will next year. Multiple agents pointed out 3 superstars who had significant public relation issues in the front up to the draft. First was Notre Dame linebacker Jalen Smith, who tweeted a video of himself before the combine that inadvertently revealed an orthosis rehabilitating nerve damage in his leg. Then it was UCLA linebacker Miles Jack admitting to the New York Post that he would eventually need microfracture surgery on his knee. And finally, there was the Laramie Tunsil video that swept through war rooms like a wildfire, revealed when his Twitter account inexplicably posted a snippet of him taking a bong hit through a gas mask. Yeah, why would you put anything with you smoking weed on especially being an athlete? But I don't get it. When it comes to Twitter, I'm probably one of the worst when it comes to Twitter. I do a lot of sharing, or no, I'm not going to say sharing, but a lot of retweeting in favor when we're including this stuff. As a matter of fact, I got to look. But there's one race team in particular that they include us in every tweet or tag us in every tweet or whatever the case may be, however Twitter works. And so I like I said, I'm bad at that. But they include us in every tweet. And so, I like or tweet or retweet them and like them or whatever the hell.
Did you say her?
Huh?
Did you just say her?
No. But
yeah, you did.
I don't do a lot of social. I don't do a lot of tweeting. I just don't. We have this stuff linked up so that tweets go out and it's more of it. It's set up in a way that I don't have to actually do the tweet. It automatically does it just the way we got things organized. And so that's part of why. And, I've had this conversation with people all the time. If it wasn't for the sports, I don't know if I would hardly ever be on Facebook. And, people ask me all the time, did you see this or did you see that or did you see my post? And I tell them all the same thing. To be honest with you, I don't pay a lot of attention. If it's in his DK, LOK Racing, that includes us in their tweets. I want to shout out to them because we're very grateful that they include us in everything. But I don't. And Shorty's asked me a few times, did you see my post on this or did you see my post on that? And a lot of times I tell her no. I go on there and scroll through my feed just to see what's going on, what I can share on our page, what is breaking, what information is out there. I don't, and we were just talking a minute ago about my mother tagging me in a picture that I probably still couldn't find it. But I actually shared another picture from when we went to Gatlinburg last year when we was down at the Dixie Stampede. But I don't.
You still didn't see it?
No, I didn't. I don't get swept into the social media. and I don't understand, knowing the negative that could come from being on social media. Why would you want to put yourself in that predicament? Like, I know it's easier for us because Shorty's the same way. She and now I've seen it, and that's just because you liked it, and so now I see it. And I'm going to share this for everybody who's wanting to know because she brought it up. My mother did a throwback picture, and this was actually from May 1st, 2 years ago. But it's me and my two brothers. I'm getting ready to post it to Mr.C.J. Sports fan page for those that follow me over at Mr.C.J. Sports. I'm about to
blow it up.
And I am the middle child. When on my father's side, I am my mother's oldest. I am the one in the blue shirt that has the bowl haircut. For everybody that's that's going to go look. This is throwback. I was probably about 3 or 4 years old, so you're looking at about 81, 82, if I was to guess. So
3 or 4. You ain't no 3 or 4 in that picture. Maybe like 1.5. Your little butt.
I'm the middle child. I'm not 1.5.
I'm just playing. You're just
okay.
It's just weird because you're really small. You look small. Ooh, it's me. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Just make sure I didn't lose you.
Can't post it. I think my mom left it private. Yeah, it's for friends only. So I can't do it. I'm gonna share it over Mr.
Sure you can.
Sports.
Save it to your pictures.
Right, yeah, I can do it that way as well.
And then repost it, just like I did. I didn't repost it, but I did save it to my pictures so that I could blow it up.
Make fun of me later?
No, it's a cute picture, and I thought you might like it. Yes, just pick on you later. To have something to hold over your head. Should
athletes stay off of Facebook and social media? What are your thoughts when it comes to athletes and social media? I know that athletes and family members have always run their mouth, but unfortunately for this generation, back then there wasn't social media, so it wasn't public, and the only thing that got published is what you said into the press
reporter.
and the actual journalist, the reporter, not what was overheard or what was video recorded or what you tweeted out or what you updated your Facebook today or Instagram. The only thing that we knew about athletes for the most part was what the media happened to catch, and so I know that it's a big adjustment because they were pretty much doing the same thing then as they are now. It's just we don't have all the social media presence. We don't have the capabilities, the cameras everywhere all the time. Well, should athletes stay off of social media? Should teams require and make that part of their contract? Look, we're going to pay this amount of money. You do not have Facebook. You shut it down until you are no longer part of this organization. Should they go to that extreme? Should they have some kind of control over whether or not their players have social media or not?
Absolutely not. That is way too far into your personal life. Yes, you get paid to do your job, but your job is a job. It's like pretty much, you working at the Kangaroo. They work for the NBA. I feel like that is too much into somebody's personal life, and that should not happen. No. That is taking away a freedom of whatever freedom it takes away. something in the Constitution. But no, I absolutely, positively think it would be ridiculous. And judging by the way you said it, you feel the opposite way, which
I do.
Is okay because I know I'm right. So
I just feel that because people let their emotions get the best of them, and people say stuff in the heat of the moment, and people do stupid things at times, I think
everybody does stupid things.
I understand that, but I'm not paying everybody $10 million a year to play for me or $20 million a year to play for me. I got 53 players on my roster in the NFL, or 15 players or so in the NBA, and so on and so on. I want them to be as professional as they can at all times. And we saw this earlier in the season, right before the playoffs, with LeBron James and his cryptic messages that had everybody questioning whether or not he was going back to Miami or if he was happy at all in Cleveland and this and everything else. Focus got pointed in the wrong direction because of social media. I'm sorry, but you eliminate social media, you eliminate a lot of unnecessary drama, and you get back to being focused solely on what you're supposed to be, focused on. I just think that teams should be able to have that control.
Maybe they should make it in the contract that they are not allowed to have social media under their name, that they need to use a picture like somebody else's picture and not have their name or anything to do with the game, the team.
But you know that. You know that'll leak out. It will. That only thing that would do is give people an incentive and something to do, because those that are fans of these players, and if that was something that ever happened, you know that there would be even a larger group of people that would be out there trying to figure out who's got what handle. Oh my God, LeBron's on there, but he's not using his name. We got to dig and find out who LeBron is on Twitter. And that's all it would end up turning in, just a scavenger hunt, so someone figured it out, and then they shared it with everybody, and everybody would go follow that, that fake account. So that wouldn't work, in my opinion, because everybody's going to know. Eventually, it would get leaked, or a player would say something, or we know it's in the new CBA, so we know to look for it. Whatever the case may be, I just don't see that actually being an idea that will actually work.
You never think any of my ideas will work.
I didn't say that. I might not agree with all your ideas.
You didn't have to say it. You didn't have to say it, CJ. You didn't have to. I know. Okay.
I just know if I'm paying somebody $10, $20 million a year, I want them to be focused on what they're supposed to be focused on.
So when you make it big, and we're living well off, and you're paying me $10 million a year. Am I not allowed to have social media?
You don't post much on social media though. Like, you share stuff, and you take pictures every once in a while of your children and put on there. But you really don't post stuff. Every once in a while you'll say something on there, but it's mainly you sharing stuff and every once in a while getting pictures, and that's really it on your social media. So,
because I'm not like all these other youngins. I'm old.
Wow.
What?
Well, if you're old, that
you
makes me like
more. You post more crap than I do.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I have my days where I post, and as a matter of fact, the only two posts that I actually post and said something today were posts that involved with you and your picture. Everything else, either I shared something or it was 110 stuff. But I have my days, and I tried, especially since the 110 has become what it is. I try to really kind of watch what I say. I know that I have the 110 account and I have Mr.C.J. Sports account, and that's where, those were designed so people would go there and nobody would go to my personal page. But I know that I have a lot of drivers and a lot of athletes that are friends with me on my personal page, and so I try to watch, for the most part, what I say, because I don't want it to affect business, even though that, that's why the other two accounts were set up, so I could still say what I wanted to say on my real account, my personal account. But it is what it is, and I'm trying to get better with that. But I just have an issue that, if I'm paying you that type of money, I should have a lot of say so.
You have control?
Yeah.
No.
I should. And
no,
that's a lot of.
You shouldn't.
So if you're paying somebody $20 million a year, you don't feel that you should have some kind of control over what they do?
No. We live in America. We live in the greatest, crappiest country in the world. Okay? We have a constitution and we have amendments for a reason. We have the right to say whatever we want to say as long as we don't say anything about blowing up the P word.
I
understand.
I understand that, but I also look at it as if I'm paying you 10, 20, I don't care if it's $5 million a year, I should be able to say, you know what, as long as you're part of this organization, to prevent any unnecessary drama, to prevent any unnecessary distractions, to just prevent a lot of things. As a member of this team, when you sign the contract, you are to close down your account until you're no longer part of this team. That we want your information out, and we will watch your account, and if there's stuff posted, then you void your contract. And that's just the way I feel about it. There's just been so much drama when it comes to social media and athletes and family of athletes.
Well, you know what they say about opinions. I can't say it on the air, so. Well, I can say some of it on the air. But they say everybody has opinions, just like buttholes. Some of them just stink worse than others.
Yeah, those are excuses, not opinions.
No, it's not just for opinions or excuses. That's also saying for opinions. Look it up, Mr. C.J. You're not always right, Mr. C.J.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot out of your mouth for the last 2.5 years.
Well, you haven't been always right. Not 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time you might have been right, but I got 5%. That's all that matters.
Got 5. I said got 5%.
You don't give me anything else. You're greedy.
I gave you 5-10%. If those listening, we just had a conversation the other day. Normally, I'm not saying I'm always right, but normally it plays out where I'm right. If we're talking about sports, if we're talking about people, at my ripe age, I can read people very well, and
I don't think that has anything to do with your age.
Yeah, it has to do with experience. It has to do with people I've been around and the experience I've had.
Yeah, because
from military to founding to being general manager, just you especially being a general manager, you've got to learn how to read people. You got to know if that's a right fit for your establishment, or are they going to steal from you? They're going to be productive. There's just a lot of things that you got to read people.
You must not have been able to read me very well. Are they going to be productive?
I read you really well. You were worthless. You were worthless. Don't excuse me. You know you weren't.
So why did you hire me? Because I know it wasn't for the looks I have now.
It was because you were friends with Miss Brandy. She asked me to hire you. I hired you.
Do you know she was quitting when you hired me?
No. I don't think so. And even though you didn't perform, I had hired you because of Brandy asked, and so I wrote it as long until you were no longer working for us.
I mean, in the long run.
Tell the listeners, you were horrible. Go ahead, admit to it.
I was. On purpose.
She intentionally did not do work. But
it wasn't because of Mr.C.J. I really liked Mr.C.J. Like, I had a crush on him.
5 years ago, 6 years ago.
And look at us now. But anyways, I purposely did not do my job because there was this god-awful guy named Chucky Wucky, and he got on my nerves every single day. The late Miss Brandy, she was supposed to teach me what I was supposed to do for my job. Well, she forgot to mention the fact that I was supposed to take trash out every morning. Well, I didn't know that. So when Mr. Chucky Wucky came in, he would always yell at me about taking the dang trash out. Well, I did not know until he started complaining it to me and complaining about it and, getting attitudes with me. So even after I found out that I was supposed to do it, I didn't do it because I didn't like him. Because he yelled at me for no reason. Well, it was a reason, but it was a reason I didn't know. For everybody who wanted to know, and everybody who didn't want to know. There you go, anyways.
I have done pretty well of reading people, and I think sometimes I even surprise Shorty with how accurate I am when it comes to people. I just...
It's not surprise, it's irritation.
I just... There's a reason why I have a limited amount of people I actually call my friend. There's people that I am friends with, but there's only a very few select that I actually say they are my friend. And, there's a lot of then associates, and there's a reason for that. And I know that certain people are around because there's something they want or there's a service they could use, and I know that there's people there just because, they just associated with other people, whatever the case may be. But there's a reason why I'm very selective on who I actually trust, who I actually go around. I mean, in 2.5 years, I think there's only, I think that really there's only been trust in 2 people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, I mean, obviously Stavone, and for those listening, Simone's the one that I have sports talk with every day when we text back and forth and I talk about on the show. And because of what all happened the last time he came from up north, I would have to say Steve is trustworthy as well. Outside of that, I don't think that, and correct me wrong, but I don't think anybody else I've ever put into that status or would put into that status.
According to Mr.C.J, I have one friend.
And she does. I mean, I label friends differently than other people, though. Like, other people, I got this, my friend. No, that's your neighbor, or no, that's your someone you work with. They're not your friend. How many times they came over and helped you when you needed something, or how many times this, or how many times that? And I label it different. But yes, I in 2.5 years, Leah, the current roommate of Shorty, someone she was working with, is honestly the only person that I would say is been her actual friend. Everybody else is one way or another try to use her, and they were only there to see what they can get out of the situation. And honestly, that's really been it. Leah's been the only one that has been there. She has secrets that she's taken to her grave. There's secrets that she thinks I don't know, that she won't tell me, and that showed me her loyalty to Shorty, because there's stuff that has gone on that I know about, and it's open conversation with Shorty, and I have nothing bad or nothing. But in a normal relationship, yes, that would probably be a deal breaker. And yet she keeps it to herself. She don't judge. She what goes on in the house stays in that house, and you don't get that too often. And that's why I view her as her only friend, because everybody else, and you can't name one person that I know of that is not want something one way or another in return for being around you, not just genuinely be your friend. And
Sabrina.
I've never been around her, so I can't judge her as someone that you ain't been around years, and I've not seen in the whole 2.5 years. So that's
Yeah, I know, but we are friends, and regardless of where we are and what we're doing, we still talk from time to time. Like, I was just talking to her the other day.
But I do, and I do the same thing in sports. And I'm not saying I'm always right what I talk about, but where I'm different than others is I step back and I take an opportunity to read people and read the situation, and then kind of make my judgment, and kind of, like I said, there's a reason why I have a very selective people that I call friends, and that's just the way I am, man. I know that there's 2 or 3 people that I could call at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and, look, this is the situation, I need you here, and they'll be there. And those, to me, those are the ones I classify as friends. That's where I'm a little bit different. If I know, and there's 2 or 3 people that I honestly know that if I have something go down and I needed somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's about 2 or 3 people that would make their way to my house at that point in time. And that's why I say I do things a little bit different when I call friends. I'm not one that I want 100 friends, or I want a few friends that I know without a shadow of a doubt that are going to be there and I can count on. Not 100 friends that, okay, when something goes down, everybody is gone. I'm too busy. I can't help you. This, that, and the other. And that's kind of where I'm different with things.
We should probably get back to sports soon before you get in trouble.
It was interesting. Wednesday I had the opportunity to we didn't have a show Wednesday night, and then racing with Big Sweat on Thursday and no show on Friday. And we do apologize between Wi-Fi issues and the dirt clock hour. They didn't do a show Sunday because throughout Talladega, there's a lot of things going on. We was able to unable to do the show, but I had an opportunity Wednesday to go to Chapel Hill and bounce, and I pulled security for a frat party. There was a couple thousand people there. It was kind of interesting, but
I was jealous.
More specifically, at the end, it was funny. It was funny because we got to the end, and the president of that particular frat house came over to me and also came over to Sabone, my best friend. It was an opportunity for us to actually hang out. So when I post security in the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, that's who I'm working for. And the frat president came over to him and I and wanted us to get the football players gone because he was scared and intimidated by the football players. And it was funny because me, as Sabona and myself, we looked at each other kind of puzzled. And I know the football players did not appreciate this at all. I was loud about it. It wasn't like I was being secretive. It was a party. I was yelling to my partner. And I'm like, do these people not watch UNC Chapel Hill Tar Heels play football? Like, do they not watch? I mean, everybody pushes them around. It's the Tar Heels for crying out loud. Why are you intimidated and scared? It's just the Tar Heels. Do you not watch football? If the ACC out of all conferences is able to slap and push around this football team, what are you scared about? It's just ACC as a matter of fact. And I pointed over in the direction. That player right there is getting a living female put pigtails, not a ponytail, but pigtails in his hair. What exactly are you scared of? They're just UNC football players. Yeah, I got to admit I was probably not the popular person at that frat party.
I didn't know you said it loud enough for everybody to hear. That's funny.
I wasn't secretive about it. Like, we were at the party, we were all standing right there, and I looked over at Stapone, and I'm like, what? Like, and he's like, do you hear him? Like, I was like, yes, he's already said the same thing to me before he came over to you. Like, I'm not getting it. Why this dude is scared? And you have football players, you have basketball players. I don't know which one's which. I do not keep up with UNC. I don't keep up with programs that really, honestly, football programs suck. Who knows what the sports program is even going to look like next year because of all the class and all the stuff that they got going on that could possibly shut down a lot of things. It's just entertaining. I don't keep up with the basketball team. Sorry, y'all sucked. Y'all couldn't win a national title. I guess suck is not really the terminology. We're in the final matchup, but you failed. You failed, and you let Villanova win. So I see no reason to be intimidated. I mean, it does help that the biggest football player there wasn't bigger than me. He was taller than me, but he wasn't bigger than me. Honestly, I don't think that there was a person bigger there than myself. Maybe other than one of the other security guys, and it was not because he was muscular bigger. He was just taller and just had to be bigger shaped. But I mean, obviously that plays into a factor of kind of laughing it off because I'm just looking at these football players and just know how sorry they are. And I don't know. I couldn't resist. Like I have worked so many different places. Chapel Hill and have dealt with so many athletes at these parties that it just kind of I kind of chuckle because they try to act so hard. They try to I'm this person or I played this sport. That I remember, and I was having a big beef with God. I can't even think. He just recently got like a sexual assault charge or something stupid. He was nothing more than like a C-grade player. He played on the not the most recent championship team for UNC, but the team before that. And I remember working the door one night at a club called PT, and he came in, and I cannot think of his daggone name to save my life. And I don't want to sit there and bother Stapone. He'd be able to tell me who it is, but he knows who I was beefing with. But he thought he wasn't going to pay. Like, he thought that he was exempt for paying the $3 cover charge and everything else. And someone came up to me and was like, don't you know who that is? That is so-and-so. Used to play for UNC. So, one, I'm wearing Ohio State stuff in that particular night. I was like, first of all, does this shirt say that I care about anything to do with UNC? I said, second of all, does this shirt show that I care that he's who you say he is? Like, I don't care. There's a $3 charge everybody's paying for. He is not above, But I've seen Ty Lawson. He's been to a couple of the clubs that I worked at, and he was one. And you kind of see it now reflect on his life and how he's playing and how his life's going right now. He was one of those that he felt he was above the rules, a late night partying, and I had watched him go into some of these clubs at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and of course, these clubs trying to entertain the basketball players, and I stay out of all that business. I don't get into the politics of it, but they're kids and they're going to college, and so whatever privileges they get, I don't care, and that's a lot of reason why I don't stress getting college athletes on the show, or when I'm at parties like this to talk to them, because I don't want to be the one that reports something that screws up an organization or screws up their career, and so I try to stay away from all that, because they're kids, and I think at times
I didn't know that.
People make too much of what happened and blow it up into bigger things. Like
the Duke lacrosse players?
Yeah, which ended up being a whole, whatever that was.
A sham?
Yeah.
She didn't want to train.
I can't think I can't think of Henderson's first name, but I know Henderson that went to UNC. I think he plays for Milwaukee now. I know that they let him in the club underage. I don't think he drank, but that they would let certain rules slide, and I was never a fan of that. Like there's rules for a reason, and you bending the rules, all that does is invite a whole bunch of other issues. But
yes,
I could have we were having shows then, we were doing our thing. I could have reported all this stuff and talked about this stuff, but I didn't, because none of it was big. None of it was worthy of really talking about. But, got to the frat party. It was interesting. It had fun. I worked there was 2 entrances to the patio entrances. Like, there's a brick wall in the front, and there's 2 spots where you can walk in on the sidewalk. And it was funny because the side I got, we didn't even know, and I've pulled security at this particular frat house probably about 5 or 6 times. So it's the bone. And it wasn't until they pointed out that they wanted somebody at that entrance and the other entrance that we even realized that there was 2 sidewalks. Like, it just because of bushes and everything. And granted, it was always dark when we worked too. This was the first daytime security gig I had there. But I stood at the end that there was hardly nobody, so I didn't get to see a lot. And unfortunately, where all the bushes were, I didn't get to see a lot of the partying either. As a matter of fact, I spent almost the whole time either sharing stuff on Facebook or messaging Shorty.
Looking for broccoli?
Looking for broccoli. But, yes, we were rather entertained with the frat president all worried and sweating, and openly just saying, like, I'm scared, I'm intimidated, I don't want to get beat up. Like, these words are coming out of his mouth, and it's just making things worse. Like, I'm already laughing because you're talking about these football players like they're actually something, and then you're just, like, openly admitting that basically you're a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, and I'll take that. I'll take another warning or whatever the case is that you guys are going to hand out to me, but that's essentially.
I'll slap you on your wrist later.
That's essentially what you sounded like. Like, ooh, like what's I don't know. So crazy, but it was a fun party. Like, I think that part of me is glad that I only did online schooling and never got mixed up in that, because who knows what would have happened. I know what I was like at that point in time, where I should have been, or could have been anyway. In college, I was in the military, and so I know how I was then, and I don't know if I did online schooling and didn't finish that. I'm like only 2 classes short of having my bachelor in business management. But I know how I was, and so part of me is glad that I never did that, because it probably honestly would have been a waste of money. Who knows, I might have had a kid at 20, 21 years old versus not having, my son until I was 28, and, the whole situation with my daughter. But the other side of me says, you know what, to live that life and to experience having a town like Chapel Hill, part of me kind of wishes I would have had that opportunity.
I got to have that opportunity without having that opportunity. I didn't have to go to school. You just have to know people.
You know a lot of people.
I do. I know a lot of people. I shouldn't know all these people. If it makes you feel any better, I don't remember half their names.
Wow. I don't remember half what they look like anymore.
Probably was too messed up to see what they look like.
Yes, Shorty was a frequent flyer in Chapel Hill. She liked hanging out at the parties. And we've had this discussion. There's a possibility that I was full security at some of the parties that she might have been at, or knew some of the people that she was partying with. So we were in Chapel Hill at the same time frame. We were just doing 2 different things. She was enjoying the partying, and I was full security for the partying. So it really makes you step back for a minute and realize how small this world really is. Even as big as it is, how small this world really is.
No, saying how small this world really is hanging out with your next door neighbor, finding out that her best friend is your ex-husband's new wife's father. That's a small world.
And potential lover.
Huh?
I said, and potential lover. But you already knew when you walked in the bathroom and him doing some unmentionable things to himself. That was always a possibility anyway.
Yeah, well. Let's not talk about that on the air. It's a little inappropriate.
Oh.
Anyways, before we really get into trouble.
Steph Curry is talking about possibly being back for Game 3. I still have an issue with it. Oklahoma won Golden State won Game 1. There is really, honestly, no reason to rush Steph Curry back. I know he wants to be on the court. He's a competitor. I'm sorry, but Portland is not that serious of a threat. Golden State won Game 1. It was probably a little closer than they would have liked it to have been. After you win Game 2, if you go to Portland and you lose Game 3 and Game 4, then yes. If you're up 3-1 after the 4 games, then no, you're still not playing in my book. I'm sorry. But if I'm Steve Kerr, you wait. I want you 100%. There is no reason for you to rush back and possibly hurt yourself. Now, as a Cleveland fan, I'm all for it. For being a Cleveland fan, go ahead. If you want to come back tomorrow, come back tomorrow. Game 3, that's fine as well, which should probably be about Thursday night. I'm all for that as well. I want to make sure that you are known 100% by the time we all get to the NBA Finals. If you're coach, are you letting you let Steph Curry play, or do you feel the series out and then make that decision as the series go?
You're asking me?
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Well, no, I thought you were asking a question, but then it sounded like you're making a statement. So if I was the coach for Golden State, would I approve it? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, would you let him come back in Game 3 or as quick as he wants, or would you allow the series to kind of dictate that? And as long as you're up in the series and you win the series, do you keep resting him, or do you just go ahead and let him come back when he decides he is ready?
I would make sure that he is completely healed up, because he's the only way they're going to win. I would, if I was the coach, I would make sure that he is completely 100% back to normal, and if there was even a possibility of him being hurt, he would not be in that game. I'm sorry, but you have to look at the big picture. I understand that they, have a hard time looking at the big picture, especially, yes, they made it to the finals. They made it, they won their, they beat the record, all that. But what if they would have failed? All that work for nothing. Golden State tends not to look at the big picture.
And I'm not saying that the injuries are related to the fact that they were all in and played hard all the game, but it makes you wonder how much that has got to do with the injury, but also how ready are you going to be to play San Antonio? San Antonio played 4 games with them, got a rest. Last night they played 3 quarters and got rest. Like this, and I'd be willing to bet Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan probably did not play hardly any. I'm trying to pull this up. Any time in the second half at all. And one for OKC, that's the last thing they really wanted. You got your butt handed to you, and then you turn around and let these people rest and get ready for Game 2. The best thing to happen for Golden State is OKC plays competitively and does not give an opportunity for the players to rest and drags us out to the 7-game series. I just don't see that happening. I see San Antonio potentially sweeping, maybe 4-1 series at best, but I don't see it being drug out that long. And
what's the score?
I'm going to pull up the score in a second. I'm pulling up the 124-92 win from Saturday night, trying to get an idea of the time of the starters and how much did they actually did play on Saturday night, because I'm willing to bet that LaMarcus Aldridge, even with his 38 points, only played 29 of the 48 minutes. Leonard only played 21, and he scored 25 points. Only played 21 minutes of the 48. Duncan only 21 minutes. Parker only 26 minutes. Danny Green only 26 minutes. Ginobili only 11 minutes. That kind of tells you right there that all your big players outside of Aldridge, who scored 38 points and is, essentially he's a younger player. You got 2 of the San Antonio Spurs that are 40 years old, and Tony Parker and Ginobili are no spring chickens themselves. You got these players that didn't even play half the game. and still managed to manhandle you by 32 points when it was all said and done. It was up by 43 points. Like I said, every last player on this team scored that was in uniform. Every last player on this team played at least 8 minutes. This is not, okay, we'll push you up for a few seconds or a minute or two. No. Everybody on that team that was dressed up to play played at least 8 minutes, and everybody scored. That's remarkable. And have an opportunity to rest and continue to rest throughout this series. Only thing that's going to do is make Golden State's got to be shaking their head like this. This is not how this is supposed to be. Now there are 6 minutes left in the second. San Antonio is up 39-37. This game is much closer. But if I'm Golden State, I'm shaking my head because this is not how this is supposed to play out. We didn't get an opportunity to rest in the regular season because we decided that history was and setting the record was more important than getting our rest. Now you're in the playoffs, and now you're hoping that OKC shows up. You're hoping OKC makes a series out of this and makes them use the energy and use the age against San Antonio. And I just don't think OKC is that team. I just don't see them making it that difficult. You're like too deep when it comes to OKC. Kevin Durant and Westbrook, that's it.
Definitely don't see them making it easy.
Aldridge is already 6 for 8, 14 points. He's picking up right. It was ridiculous watching LaMarcus Aldridge on Saturday night. Like, nobody guarded him. It was like catch and shoot. It looked like he was just out there practicing. Hit the three-pointer. That was something remarkable. But it blew my mind to watch this game because they left Aldridge so wide open. And I understand that physically he is so much bigger and stronger than anybody on the other team. But you got to find a way to shut down LaMarcus Aldridge if you're expecting to win the finals. And if it don't have to be LaMarcus Aldridge, then the next man up, if it be Leonard, if it be, Duncan, if it happens to be, Danny Green, you got to find a way to shut that down. All it's going to do is just destroy your home life and everything else. So
Your home life?
Home life.
I really wish I could look up stuff.
The privileges of not having Wi-Fi. Oklahoma scored 8 points so far in the second quarter, with 5 minutes left. They just scored again to give them 10 points, but Oklahoma not putting a lot of points up so far in that second quarter compared to the 20 points by San Antonio already scored. That are up 43-39 with about 4.5 minutes left to go to halftime. Tigers pitcher Justin Verlander and model Kate Upton are engaged. Kind of depressing, but I'm not saying I'm a big fan of Kate Upton, but she is a beautiful lady, and now she's off the market. Not that I had a chance, but, kind of sucks.
Not that you're on the freaking market.
I'm not saying I was, but Kate Upton come knocking on my door.
Yeah, right.
Or who knows?
You're delusional.
It is. Never count on it.
So what?
I said, if she knocks on my door, never count on it.
Yeah.
Now I know she's definitely
Not going to knock on your door? Not that, You're like somebody who's completely invisible to her. You're invisible to everybody but me, and I did that to you. I put a spell on you. Just like the song. Just like the song.
Oh, Talladega, Brad Keselowski. We're not. Well, I'm not going to say we're not. I'm not a fan of burnouts and donuts. I'm just not.
Of what?
Burnouts or donuts.
Okay.
I like, watching Carl Edwards win and he do a backflip. I like watching Kyle Busch win and do the bow. I like watching Tony Stewart win and climb the fence. I am just not big on the whole burnout and donuts. But with that being said, when Brad Keselowski does his burnouts, I'm fine with it. And because the fact that he gets the American flag every time he wins, waves it proudly, and then auctions it off or sells it off or whatever he does, and all that money goes to helping the military. Like I said on Rubbing His Race thing, he can do pretty much anything he wants, and I'm going to prove it. Knowing that his heart is in the right place, and he's doing that to help, raise money for the military, you get a free pass with that with me.
I didn't know he did that.
Yep. He always gets in there. He always waves it, puts it hanging out the window so it blows in the wind as he does his burnouts and stuff. I'm not sure if he signs it, what the whole deal is with it, but I know that he ends up selling them off, and all the money that he gets from them goes towards the wounded warriors and all that other stuff.
It's some cool shit stuff.
Wow.
What, you did it, you cussed like a whole bunch today, so I don't want to hear schnit.
Schnit?
Yes, schnit. I'll probably still get in trouble for that. You will, and then I'll get in trouble.
Always get in trouble. Anyway.
If anything we get in trouble for is the lack of actual sports today. But anywho, back to the sport.
We're wrap it up for a night.
Is it that time?
Getting close to
or you just run out of stuff to talk about?
Ain't a lot to ramble on. I don't want to repeat everything that I said in the last show. It's kind of pointless to
I mean, I've got a couple more games of word search in me.
I don't understand why they make a big deal. LeBron James has won 120 playoff games. Michael Jordan 119, but then the finals record 2-4 for LeBron, 6-0 for Chicago and Michael Jordan. Two different situations, two different eras, two different kinds of teams. As LeBron was carrying a Cleveland Cavaliers team the first time he went to the NBA Finals because it was just horrible. That's funny, but someone said.
So what?
I'm just reading this. Someone is not a supporter of one of the candidates. They agreed with something that was on Facebook. Just reading stupid stuff. But I don't even know what I was saying. That's what I get for getting sidetracked. I got to go.
The other things on your mind? Are you starting to feel?
Yeah, cloudy, very cloudy. But it's not so much cloudy, like how yesterday you felt and you had to take a nap. That's kind of what I felt about 15 minutes into. Like, I'm just like...
You feel like you need to take a nap?
Oh, I definitely could. I could definitely fall asleep.
Be careful driving.
Oh, well, it's not that extreme. But, yeah, I don't want
Well, for me. It was for me.
Can't wait to be back here tomorrow.
Sorry.
Be back at this tomorrow. Shorty's going to be in the studio with us tomorrow.
Am I?
Probably going to be hanging out with us all week. So looking
Maybe.
forward to that. We're going to be having a lot more Shorty on the show. She's working on getting a new job, and we were pretty sure that it's going to be about the same pay, less hours situation. So we're probably going to have Shorty on the show a little bit more often. So looking forward to that. But tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, be right back here to do this again. Anything you want to add that we need to talk about for Phil out there, Shorty?
No, not that I know. I have no TV, so I have no way to watch anything, so I don't know of anything that's even going on right now. I wish I knew.
Wait for the studio to reload, and we'll wrap this. There we go. We got to reload it. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night. I got to make sure I thank Snafu, Sees Me, Yellow Caution Flag, and Fit for Life. Without you guys, shows wouldn't be possible. Got to thank y'all for that. Check us out on Facebook. You can check my personal page, Mr.C.J. Sports, the 110 Nation fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Also check out our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, be right back at here. I don't think we got any guests. We do have Izzo joining us at 10:30 to catch us up on the NHL playoffs. Looking forward to that.
And Shorty.
I will talk to you guys tomorrow night. Y'all have a good one.
Toodles.
Thanks for listening to the 110 Nation Sports Show with Mr.C.J. Sports. You are a part of the 110 Nation, so be sure to visit the110nation.com for everything related to the show. You can follow CJ on Twitter at 110Nation and on Facebook at 110 Nation Sports. Until next time.
Looks like you already visited At Home this spring. The patio looks great, but why the makeover?
Because we're hosting the block party. Because Sunday dinner's moved outdoors. Because, Hunter's graduation and Emily's baby shower. And because sometimes I can just sit back and enjoy it.
Explore At Home's expanded selection of patio decor, like cushions starting at $9.99 and garden themes from modern to coastal. At Home, the home decor superstore. Any style, any budget, any reason to redecorate. Visit one of our 2 Raleigh-Durham area At Home superstores today.